Well, I am going to start my one about a month as a review as a banner. Because after I watched Mad Max Fury Road on Blu-ray for the first time ever, due to this film came out 10 years ago, I gotta said, so I probably remember when I said that Inside Out was used to be one of my favorite movies of 2015. Well, after I watched this movie is way better than the first Inside Out movie. And no offense to the first Inside Out movie, but this film is such a masterpiece. And I don't blame on Francis overhyping this movie, because I will be the same way as Beyond the Spider-Verse and Frozen 3. Let's get started with a intro as a banner. Hello fellas, what the search? My name is Nick Hicks Studio Lounge Show. So doing to this month is all about Warner Brothers, DC, and New Line Cinema, and I will finally get the chance to watch Final Destination Bloodline, Mickey 17, and last not least, a Minecraft movies. So today, I'm about to start a Warner Brothers month as a banger. So today, I'm about to do a very first review for Warner Brothers month, which is none other than the highest grossing movies of the Mad Max movies, and one of this credit acclaimed movie that everybody was talking about, which is none other than a Mad Max movie called Mad Max Fury Road. I will definitely get the chance to review on Furiosa, because I haven't been talking about Furiosa starting Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth honestly at this point. So I will definitely do that review after I get done the review of 300 and Joker 2. God mercy on us all for the last one. So today, I already tell you what my review is. So enough talking, let's get started. So I'm a huge fan of the Mad Max movie, because none of the Mad Max movie is bad, honestly. Yup, that's right. None of any Mad Max movie are very bad. Nope, they are not. The first film that came out in 1979, I think. Yeah, that film is such a classic. And honestly, the action was really brutal for the 70s type. And of course, the character and the story and the dialogue and the production design are very incredible. And we go in the sequel of 1981. Yeah, the sequel is just as good as much as the first movie. And the third one, well, even the third one is the weakest film out of the Mad Max movie, which is not a bad thing, but it's an okay one. Yeah, actually, I just think it was kind of overrated, but because honestly, Black Critic Guy was right. Overrated is not, it's not a bad thing. Because when you call this film overrated, that's not a bad thing, because if it's called overrated, so you don't have to necessarily hate on it, honestly. And I'll get the Mad Max Fury Road in a minute, because that's the review we're doing right now. So my thought on Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. That film used to be one of my favorite movies out of the Mad Max movie, and that's the underrated one, because I don't understand why people was complaining about the cinematography and the CGI. Like, really, people? That's how the Mad Max movie is, honestly. They always have a goofy CGI and the goofy production design and the cinematography, because Furiosa is a spin-off to the Mad Max movie. And no, Furiosa are not woke, and stop saying this woke or else it makes yourself stupid. So when this film came out on May 15th, 2015, the same day as the anniversary back in this year, which Ned and Scoob. Honestly, I gotta say, but which movie that you prefer better, Mad Max Fury Road or Scoob? Why? It's because those films made by Warner Brothers Pictures. Anyway, and honestly, in this movie, this movie was way back then that David Zaslav was not a CEO, but not until you go into 2023. Yeah, this is when Warner Bros. Went downhill, all thanks to David freaking Zaslav, and he kind of remind me of Mr. Krabs. Anyway, let's continue. And this film is 2 hours, and that 2 hours runtime was really worth it. And when this film came out on May 2015, it came out 10 years ago. Can you not believe this film came out 10 years ago? 10 years ago, 2015, and all the way to 2025. That is really awesome, and that is really dope. So yeah, this film got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critic, which is even higher, just like the first one. And this film got a 86% for the audience. Oh, come on, y'all. Because honestly, the audience deserve like a way more higher than the other film that came out in that time, honestly. And honestly, and this film got a 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb, and this film got a 90 on Megascore. So here's the one question, and there was a one question that Jack 21 Storm was noticed. Is Mad Max Fury Road is a box office hit or flop? I am so glad this film is not a flop, because if it's a flop, yeah, I'll get to that very shortly. Mad Max Fury Road was a box office success, grossing over $370 million worldwide, and achieving a $150 million budget. Why it was ain't a blockbuster in the term of topping the year of the highest grossing list, it was significantly outperformed at the budget and was profit. And there was one question, did Furiosa lost money? Well, look at this. Yeah, this film did dirty when that film came out back in 2024. Back in last year, honestly, at this point. Wait a minute, does it came out last year? Yeah, it is. Anyway, so what do I think about Mad Max Fury Road after I watched this movie on Blu-ray? I gotta say, this film is absolutely peak as cinema. This has got to be one of my favorite movies back in 10 years ago, along with Inside Out, Spectre, Kingman of the Secret Service, and of course the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of the Water. And this has got to be one of my favorite movies out of the Mad Max franchise, because this is how you make a great Mad Max movie, and I am so glad there was no Mad Max movie be as terrible. I am so glad this franchise is still going up, honestly. And of course, we are getting another Mad Max movie, which is another spinoff since Furiosa, and I hope to God it will happen. They are doing the spinoff of The Wasteland. Yeah, you better hope this film would definitely be a box office hit, because George Miller deserved that, honestly. Yeah, anyway, the main reason why that Furiosa was a flop, it's because of the fact that just like a ballerina, people was saying that Furiosa was woke, and they are saying they're not watching it. Like, yeah, I don't want to go into that drama, so let's continue. So I gotta say, but this has got to be one of my, which one of our movie I just think is better? Wait a minute. Wait a second. Honestly, let me check my top 10s. Wait a minute, guys. Let's see. What's my favorite Warner Brothers movies? Let's see. I think they're not loading, honestly. But honestly, I gotta say this, but this has got to be one of my new favorite Warner Brothers movie I ever seen. Yup, even better than Doom Part 2. So, do I have any flaws about this movie? Oh, heck no. If I get one more flaws about this movie, I'll be a fake A movie critic. Let's get to the positive. Honestly, yeah, the negative, I don't have any issues about this film at all. But let's get to the positive, shall we? And I got a lot to say about this movie. The story was very original, and this is how you make a great Mad Max movie. And this film was so good that the fact that this movie got a reward at the Academy Award, Academy of the Science Fiction, American Cinema Editor, and bunch of stuff too, honestly. And I'm kind of shocked and no. Hey, what's a Golden Globe? Hey, what's it going to go? There we go. Yeah, anyway, this film got nominated at the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture Drama. Man, this film is a drama and action movie? Darn. And of course, this film got nominated for Best Director of George Miller, honestly. This is the same guy who brought you Happy Feet. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Happy Feet. Happy Feet, honestly, at this point, because I just think Happy Feet was very overrated. It's very overrated. And of course, this film got nominated at the Academy Awards. So what nomination this movie got? Well, I'm about to tell you. So this movie got a 245 winner and 234 nominations. So this film got nominated for Best Motion Picture of the Year, Best in the Direction of George Miller, and of course this film got nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Cinematography, and this film won at the 2016 winner, which is film editing and costume design. I gotta say, the costume design is chef kiss, and I like it. And this film was really a Oscar worthy because I have never seen a action sci-fi movie will always be like this movie like this, just like just like every film that we got these days, like back in the 70s and back in the 60s or back in the 80s, honestly. Because when you watch this movie, this film does not feel like a 2015 movie. This film feels like I am watching a old time, because this film was really a good time movie to watch, honestly. And I'll definitely try my best to watch the black and white version, because they have a two version. They have the black and white version, and they also have a color scheme in it. So let's get to the positive, shall we? Sorry about the reward, because I forgot to talk about that before. After I got done talking about the review, like always, but I might talk about that in my next review, so stay tuned. Anyway, so the story was very incredible, because this has to be one of the best written Mad Max movie I ever watched. And of course, the characters are very incredible. Like, we got Tom Hardy as Max. He is very incredible, and I gotta say, but he is even better than him as Venom and him as Bane. But I gotta say, but this has got to be, honestly, this has got to be one of my favorite performances by Tom Hardy, and I'm a huge fan of Tom Hardy because Tom Hardy is a very awesome guy. And of course, my favorite character in this movie, which is none other than Furiosa. And yeah, sure, even she's not as good as much as Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, honestly, because she's my crush, honestly. But I gotta say, but Furiosa, she's got to be one of my favorite characters in this movie, and I thought she was almost dying because I was really sad that she died, man. I was very sad she died. And yes, I can give away spoiler because this movie came out 10 years ago, so what the frick. Anyway, yeah, actually, I love Furiosa in this movie. Even Furiosa as Even Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa is my kind of Furiosa, because she is such a cutie pie. But Furiosa in this movie, she's a very awesome, but not as good as Anya Taylor-Joy Furiosa, and I hope Starboy will definitely agree with me, and even Kyle from Sony Jesus. And of course, you got Nicholas Houlton. Not just he's going to be bald again in that Superman movie, which is coming out on July 11th, the same day I'm going to be doing a live stream of Frozen 2 Watch One Party. So let's hope I'll get more people to rewatch Frozen 2 with me, because I just want Frozen 2 to get more recommending. And that is why I've been talking about the Frozen movie in the past few days, because I'm sick and tired of Alec completely spitting his hatred on Frozen movie. It's getting on my nerves this week. So let's continue. Anyway, so Nicholas Houlton, and honestly guys, that Superman movie, yeah, that was not the first time that he was bald. Honestly guys, I'm really thinking the first time that Nicholas Houlton was bald, like Shameless said, was CGI, which is none other than Nicholas Houlton as Lox from Mad Max Fury Road. Because not just him as Lex Luthor was bald, even his character was bald too, honestly. And I gotta say, but this has got to be one of my favorite performances by Nicholas Houlton. So let's hope him as Lex Luthor will be my new favorite performance. And I'll probably Snyder Cult is going to keep saying, oh, it's not as good as Lex Luthor for BVS. Get the fuck out of my face. Don't ever mention one of the worst Lex Luthor I ever seen. And you can go grant some stuff for I care, because Nicholas Houlton is way better than the actor that he was in Zombieland. Like, how I know if we go to Zombieland and now we go to him as a cartoony version of Lex Luthor. Yeah, I might do a review on BVS because I absolutely did not like that movie now. Yes, stay tuned for my rant, oh boy. And of course, the actress that she was in on the Spider-Verse movie, and of course, the Batman as Catwoman, honestly. But I gotta say, but Zoe, she is very amazing in this film, and she might be one of my 4 favorite characters in this movie, honestly. Because my number 3 is Nicholas Holston characters. My number 2 is Tom Hardy character as Max, Mad Max, I'm going to call him. And of course, my number 1 is Furiosa, because Furiosa is my favorite character in the Mad Max. Honestly, not in the Mad Max movie, but in the Mad Max, but as a Mad Max as a franchise, so yeah. Anyway, honestly, that's enough talk about the character in the movie. Let's talk about the villain. Yup, you got Joe as a villain. A giant guy, he sounds like Bowser. But I gotta say, but he's a very threatening villain. And his death scene was really gruesome. Especially when Furiosa whipped Joe, that mouth thing off. And it was so brutal. It was so grotesque. That is all rating. That is awesome. And I love that kind of violence. Yeah. You know, honestly, and speaking of that, the action scene was really brutal, honestly. Like, honestly, can you imagine that a Disney version would do that? Well, actually, Disney is not going to do that. They are never going to do a animated version of Mad Max by having Elsa and all the characters from the Disney movie, like Disney Renaissance and Disney Revival Age. It's because of the fact that those characters are really family friendly. But in my studio, we're not family friendly. We always treat their character like every single human being. Like, yeah, honestly, don't treat them like they're family friendly character, especially for Elsa. Do not treat Elsa as a family friendly character, because when you saw a fan art of her, yeah, she might be an inappropriate girl, but hey, that's my girl, man. Anyway, guys, so let's get back to this movie. Sorry about the off-topic much, but at least I'm way better than Alec. So, Alec, freak you, and I cannot wait to do Crunches on in a couple of minutes. So that's why I want to do this instead of... That's why I want to do this before John Wick fans start the stream. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, so if you haven't seen this movie, I mean, what the heck were you doing, people? Yeah, actually, what are you waiting for? Christmas? Honestly, I highly recommend you watch it. And if this movie is not on Max, honestly, it can show that David Zaza need to be fired, because this is a Warner Brothers movie. But if you want to get it, go get the Blu-ray of it, and I hope they have a 4K of it. And if you have a 4K of it, go watch this movie on 4K immediately. And of course, the climax. This has got to be one of my favorite scenes in the movie, because the climax was very intense, really brutal, and just like what I just said, that Furiosa killed off the villain in the movie, which, my goodness, that is really brutal. Especially when you see his jaw coming out. Oh my god, man. And of course, the ending, when all the characters from Mad Max was really celebrating at the fact that the villain was dead, honestly. And honestly, I already know that people is going to keep saying, honestly, that's what you're doing it. No. Don't do that, people. Don't do that, or you're going to be such a heartless jerk. So people, do me a favor. Do not say, hey, actually, that's how we're doing it. No. We ain't doing that. Heck no. You know, Texture just said what I said about Alec in my Wicked review. So, darn it. So anyway, the ending is all about... Honestly, the ending was very amazing. And this film has some ton of emotion moment. Like when you see Furiosa screaming in the top of the desert, man... You feel bad for Furiosa, and you feel so bad for her character, because she really want her family back, but apparently she lived in the wasteland. And if you want to know Furiosa backstory, that's why back in last year we got Furiosa. Look how that film turned out. That film was a box office bomb. Thanks to what, you Garfield, you freaking cash rat knucklehead. But honestly, not as a franchise, but the movie that John Wick fans despise, and I don't blame him. So overall, guys, Mad Max Fury Road is such a epic, brilliant masterpiece. What a brilliant story, likable characters, brutal action sequences, and the bloody was very gory and very brutal. And this has got to be one of the most bloody and gory movie I ever seen back in 2015. And this movie is way better than Fan Force State. Yeah, screw Fan Force State, because this film is a better comparison, because this movie is way better than Fan Force State. And Fan Force State, go fake yourself. Anyway, so I'm going to give this peak movie a 10 out of 10. Epic, brilliant masterpiece. And I'm going to give this Furiosa Mad Max Fury Road movie a seal of Nick Studio Lounge awesomeness. And if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend you watch it on Max. And if it's not, go buy this movie on Blu-ray, on your location, in your stores. So fellas, that was my very first review for Warner Bros. Month, which is none other than Mad Max Fury Road. So tell me about your opinion on this amazing film on the comment section below. And the cast in this film, you did a great job by turning the character from Wasteland and turn them into a real wife, honestly. Because, yeah. And of course, you got the one character, he was in the wheelchairs, and I gotta say, he was a very likable character. And I'm not going to do a shaming with him because I am not a type of person who do a fat shaming and small shaming. So, yeah, I'm not doing any more shaming. So, yes, good. Anyway, guys, so honestly, George Miller and the cast in this movie, you did a well job in this film. And I will never forget that Francis was very overhyping to see this movie again. And I might do the same way, just like Beyond the Spider-Verse. Beyond the Spider-Pig, that's my nickname. And of course, that is the nickname for that film. And of course, Frozen 3, which is my most anticipated movie of 2027. And not just that, it's my most anticipated movie of all time. Because I cannot wait to see Anna and Elsa on the big screen since 2019, which is 6 years ago. So, what's my next review for Warner Bros. Month? Well, I'm about to tell you right now. So my next review for Warner Bros. Month, which is another than the one Zack Snyder movie that everybody was endured to see, which is none other than 300. This is Sparta! And of course, stay tuned for my movie when, oh my lord, Joker for Fury on Doo-Doo. This movie do not deserve the call Joker for Fury on Doo, because this film is a doo-doo is crap. So I am not ready to talk about Joker 2, but I am so ready to talk about a Zack Snyder movie called 300. Yeah, let's hope this film will definitely kick the heck out of the Meet the Spartan. Like, who know I might want to see a parody based on the critically acclaimed movie of the Zack Snyder movies. And why this film got 61%? Oh, come on, y'all. It was to be 100%, or even 97%, just like this movie. Anyway, guys, so if you want me to watch Mickey 17 or a Minecraft movie or even Final Destination Bloodline, well, guys, I have to wait for Final Destination Bloodline, but if I change my mind, I'll definitely let you guys know on my community tab. So, this is Nick Hicks Studio Lounge signing off, and this movie is way better than Hell and Back and 50 Shades of Trilogies. And Brent's Troll, I'm gonna say this, but Mad Max Fury Road is way better than 50 Shades movies. And no offense, but you are 15 years old, you should not be watching the rated R film because this movie is way better than the 50 Shades movie, Van Stick, and last not least, Hell and Back. What the frick that South Park creator was thinking making Abomination. And this is it. Now goodbye!